Hi there, my name is Steve Gerhardt, and as always, this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. This is a labor of love for me, so I'm so glad that you're here watching it. As always, my leg is recovering. Hopefully, this will be the last week for it, and I can go back to my normal place of recording, so I don't have to hear that ambient noise. So I apologize for that. But let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to do another historical anime, and it's called Orguss. So let's get into it. Orguss. Okay, so this is one of those anime that I saw a long time ago, and I don't remember that much about it. I was scrolling through Crunchyroll earlier, and I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to watch as my leg is propped up and healing. And I decided, oh, here's Orguss. I vaguely remember this. I think I rented it from a video store back in the day, and probably watched. I know I didn't complete the series, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I probably saw about 10 or so episodes of it, but I don't remember that much. I mean, I know what generally speaking, what it's about, but I don't remember a whole lot of details. So I decided to give it the 3-episode treatment. For those of you who don't know, 3-episode treatment is just a good way of when you're experiencing an anime or something you don't remember very well. And it kind of gives you the art direction, kind of a bit of an idea of where the plot might be going, who your protagonists are, who the villains might be, and, basic information. And also helps me determine whether or not I want to continue watching it. So that kind of helps me with doing reviews of anime. So I gave Orguss, the original Orguss. There's two series, Orguss and Orguss 2. And so I gave it the 3-episode treatment, and so here we are. So let's get into the details a little bit here. And one of the things, first thing I'm going to mention is that if you haven't seen Orguss, it is a historical anime. You probably have heard the name before. You've probably seen the box cover, things like that. But if you haven't watched it, and you take your first reaction to this is going to be like, oh, is this a sort of spin-off of Macross? Because it's basically the same art design, same people, same director that were involved with Macross and Legends of Galactic Heroes and things of that nature. So the art direction is very familiar. The mecha designs are definitely very familiar, to the point where Orguss and Macross actually cross each other in cameos, kind of like a tongue-in-cheek of just going, hey, yeah, we did that too. So you'll see a Destructoid from Orguss in a battle scene in Macross, later on in Macross, and in Orguss you'll see a crate that says Valkyrie parts on it, and on a set, like stenciled on the case. So there are things on there that are kind of a crossover, and they know that it looks very similar. So if you're thinking that Orguss is basically a Macross, it isn't, but it definitely has the same character designs, mecha designs, things of that nature. And it sort of kind of has a general underlying similar plot kind of thing going on. Not exactly, but you get the idea of it. So let's get into the actual particulars of this. So it is considered mecha genre, military sci-fi, originally created by Studio Nui and Big West Advertising. It was kind of a combo there. Again, directed by Noboru Ishiguro, which, again, he worked on Macross, Intergalactic Heroes and stuff like that. So a lot of, hey, it's that guys. We've seen this before. The original run was in July of 1983 through April of 1984, 35 episodes, or there was an Orguss 2 follow-up in the early 90s, and there is a Sega video game to it, which I think I got a really bad gift I'm going to show you at the end of the video game. So basically what this is that there's a space elevator on Earth. The idea is that to save time and money, you build this thing that goes into space from the ground in Earth into space to, be able to get stuff in and out of space, supplies and stuff like that. And there's two major superpowers. This is done in the 80s. I wonder who those two superpowers might be represented as. If you know your history, it would probably be the U.S. and Soviet Union. And so there's a war going on, and our hero K is on the side of freedom and is tasked to help take down the space elevator. We start this series off with Kay in bed with a young lady, and then getting chased out by the young lady's father, who tries to kill him with a shotgun. His friend gets him in a motorcycle, and they run off and they go into space and do the battle thing. So you get the idea that Kay is a little bit of a playboy pilot. And as they're fighting, you'll see, again, they're flying in very, not Valkyrie, half hybrid mode, mecha, not at all, and fighting in this war. And they list the different types of weapons that are used in this war that is basically devastating the Earth, which is, of course, biowarfare, chemical warfare, atomic warfare, and then this new one, which is time-dimensional bombs. Right, we use bombs that creates time rifts so that things disappear into other time zones, I guess. I don't know. So they decide to use, and that's like one of the most powerful weapons. They decide to use this weapon, and at the last second, the attack is called off. They decided to self-destruct. The Freedom Forces decide to self-destruct the bomb so it doesn't go off. And of course, Kay is just like, we lost so many people, and we should complete the mission. Goes down, and he gets caught in the time rift and gets sucked into 20 years into the future. So he sets off the bomb. So he figures out that he's basically 20 years in the future. These people come in that cute girls and guys who are just kind of like beta males, I guess, and they have antenna coming out of the back of their neck and kind of goes down, and but otherwise they look human. And they kind of rescue him a little bit, and he's under attack, and these people keep calling it the temporal bomb, and he's just a guy, but because he set off the temporal bomb, that is what created the world as it is now, which means that multiple different realities are inhabiting the same place, and everyone's trying to find him and the other one. They say there's another one, and to get them to somehow reset the world so it's not so screwed up. And Kay is completely oblivious. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Kay set these motions into event because he's a hothead pilot and doesn't really think beyond the next minute. And we come to find out that, Kay is not only a ladies' man, but like he is a real ladies' man. Like when he's feeling depressed and he wants to, things familiar, all he can think about are the multiple women that he has bedded, and he keeps naming them and thinking about them. And yes, Min-Mei is one of the names that are used. One of the character designs is Min-Mei, and for the girls that he thinks of. And so he's a bit of a flirt. Well, more than a flirt. He's a playboy. And so he comes across these people that rescue him that are basically run by women with some beta males in there. And there's this one woman, Minzy, that he kind of has a little crush on, and he keeps trying to bet her and kisses her, and she keeps slapping him in the face. And she's just like, I don't know why I care about you. It's very, very, very misogynistic. And so they're under constant attack by this other group of race that have the Destructoids, which, of course, look like Mecha from Macross. And those are the bad guys. I put that in quotations because this is the 3-episode treatment. And by the end of the 3rd episode, you realize that the bad guys actually have a goal, which is we got to survive. And you kind of go, okay, you're not totally evil, and I don't totally hate you. It's not quite like Gundam, where you're being hit in in the face with a 2x4, where war sucks. But it's more along the lines of just like going, okay, maybe individuals on this side are jerks, but overall they're just trying to make their own way like everybody else. Throw into that environmental issues, in which the temporal displacement, which Kay caused, is also causing a greenhouse effect because you can't go above the temporal effect. So you can only fly so high before the temporal effect knocks you down. So there's basically the Earth has limited time. And so they got to figure this out so that everyone can go back to kind of where they were, reset the Earth. And of course, the Earth doesn't die from, bad weather and heat and greenhouse effects and things like that. This is the 80s, so that was kind of a thing. And still should be a thing, but you know what I mean. And throughout the whole thing, Kay is very full of himself, constantly trying to get in bed with Minzy. And I wonder what Minzy's short for. It could be Min Mei. I don't know. Anyway, and they're trying to be accommodating to him, and he's just taking advantage of them. And he goes, I want this, I want that. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, well, can you just, no, I really need, okay, fine. To the point where by the end of episode 3, he buys a little girl, not to be a slaver, but to basically free her. But he wants to take her back with him. And they're like, seriously, you're going to make us pay for this girl? And he's like, yeah, because that's what I want to do. And so, he, of course, doesn't understand that he has responsibilities and obligations to this girl, clearly. And, but, he thinks he's doing a good thing. And so he's just, our protagonist is a jerk. He's not very likable. He's hard to sympathize with. He's hard to empathize with. And you feel more empathy for some of the other characters. It's kind of bad when you have a couple guys on the bad group, the villains, that you feel a little bit more empathy for than you would with Kay. So should you watch this? In terms of a historical anime, and that Orguss is a name that's kind of out there, I would say give it a go and just understand that this is a product of its time. Definitely. It's, the early 80s, early to mid 80s, where this kind of behavior was, Kay's behavior is seen as roguish and somewhat appealing. And at that time, and it's really what we would consider misogyny today. So just understand that and just know that as you're watching it. So just kind of keep that in the back of your head. Just go, okay, just remember this was made back then. So if you have problems with that, I probably wouldn't watch it. But if you're able to take it for what it is, fine, give it a go. The animation quality is here and there. You can kind of tell where the budgets are. You can kind of tell, what is being reused, and you can tell that there's a lot of effort in character design and close up on faces and details and things like that. But when you get into the action scenes, sometimes they get a little bland because they kind of reuse a lot of footage, and what is animated is not, it's not bad, but it's not what we would expect, like we would get out of Macross. So this is kind of, Orguss is kind of like Macross's little redheaded stepbrother that everyone just kind of ignores at the party. And so I don't think it gets a lot of attention. I don't think it got a lot of attention in terms of its production values. But it does have a number of themes. Now, if I were to continue to watch this and actually finish it, I'm sure that there would be some character growth within Kay, because even back then they kind of go, oh, he was a playboy, but now he's kind of settling down with the one girl, even though he might be flirtatious. So I think that is probably where we're going to go with Kay, and maybe he'll grow up and mature a little bit. But right now, in the first 3 episodes, you're just like, dude, seriously, how did they even choose you to be a pilot? I mean, you're an asshat. But yeah, so again, would I watch it? I think if you were curious and you wanted to check that box on your Otaku card, then yeah, give it a go. If you are a Macross fan, and you love Macross, I think this would be a curio for you, just to see what's different, and it might be an interesting comparison, but I don't know that you would want to watch the entire series. I don't know if it's going to grab you like Macross would grab you. So, and if you're interested in old anime, give it a watch, because if you're willing to watch old anime and take it for, it means that you're willing to take it for what it is, and kind of keep the whole, well, this is how they viewed things back then versus this is how they view the things now, and you have that good balance where you can be like, I can take it for what it is. But if you're looking for something that was groundbreaking, this was not groundbreaking. This didn't really discuss anything new, even though some of the themes are important. War is bad. Environment we need to take care of. Those are important concepts, and they do try to say, hey, we need to do better about these things. So yeah, I'm kind of lukewarm on this one. So kind of, instead of 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down, I'll kind of go like this. I guess this is mediocre. I don't know. But yeah, I guess maybe give it a try and see what you think. Let me know down below if you do actually watch like maybe 3 or 5 episodes, and see if you got the same feel I did. So just let me know down below. All right, that was Orguss. Okay, so that was Orguss. Give it a go. Let me know what you thought down below. What did you think of that Sega animated GIF of gameplay? That was kind of interesting, wasn't it? So yeah, that's going to be it for this week. Next week, I will be at Gen Con. So if you're going to Gen Con, I have my 2 panels down below. So if you want to try and get into the panel, please do. I would love to see you there. Also check out our podcast. The link for that will also be down there. And next week you will get a video, but it'll be a GIF attack of Dirty Pair and maybe a little something. But yeah, I'll be at Gen Con, and hopefully when I get back, I'll be able to put together a video real quick about my Gen Con 2026 experience. I always have a good time at Gen Con, so I expect no less. So yes, as of this recording, which is actually a couple weeks prior to all that, that's where I'm at. Yeah. So be healthy, be good. Make sure that if you ever step on something and your foot starts to hurt, don't let the infection spread, because you really don't want to spend a month and a half with your leg up like I did. But anyway, be healthy, be good, because I love you guys, and I hope to see you out in the wild. If you're at Gen Con, you see me, please come up and say hi. I would love it if you would do that. Yeah, so that's going to be it. And as always, watch more anime.